Detroit Den with Steve and Will.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is not where we want to be on a rainy Friday afternoon. I would rather be just being lazy, watching some movies, hanging out on my day off. I was
I
actually,
grass grow, if I'm being honest, in the report what we're about to report.
yeah, I was actually on my way to lunch when I got probably the most devastating phone call of my whole life from you. Um, my phone started blowing up immediately. You got to me first. So on my way to lunch with Sarah. You're calling. I'm getting text, Facebook, Twitter alerts. Jameson Williams suspended the first 6 games of the season. After last night, we did a show. We talked him up, backed him a little bit, and he goes and stabs us in the back like this.
You know what? I might be in the minority, but I'm still going to back him. And just because, you want me to read a statement real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. So, Alliance Sports, the agency that represents Jameson, they released a statement after it came out. It says, Jameson Williams has been suspended by the NFL for 6 games for violating the NFL's gambling policy. Jameson takes full responsibility for his actions and is very apologetic to the NFL, his teammates, the fans, and the city of Detroit. However, I think it's important to note that Jameson's violation for betting was not on football, but was it is a violation of the rule technically because of the location of where he placed the bet. So it was at one of the team facilities, and it goes on to talk about how it's not just a locker room. So it could have been any Lions facility that he placed this bet at.
Right? Parking lot, bathroom, public bus.
So
I should say.
And it finishes with saying that Jameson would never intentionally jeopardize the integrity of the game that he loves so much, and he looks forward to getting back to the team. So I think it still kind of feeds into what we talked about yesterday. Kid's a 22-year-old kid. He's got millions of dollars and nothing but time on his hands, when he's not playing football and training for football. It's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I'm still looking forward to him being out there and doing big things. And I think as Lions fans, we need to pump him up and not break him down. That's just me.
Here's my big issue. And for anyone who's watching, this is not going to be a family show. There's going to be some bad language. Our moms are not in here. They're probably not going to watch this today. I'm going to swear. I'm going to say some stuff. Deshaun Watson got jerked off by 45 women against their will and got 11 games. Jameson Williams bets on a couple basketball games and gets 6 because he was in the wrong location. I mean, the NFL is just being petty, and I get it. It's a stupid mistake. J-Mo's got to be a little accountable. At the end of the day, if he placed this bet at home, we're not even talking about this. But because of where he was when he did it, we don't know where he was. He was somewhere team-related or NFL-related. It's just the NFL is just splitting hairs here. Like, it's petty.
I think we need to make sure that we note that, though, because, even as we saw it when it was released, all it says is Jameson Williams suspended for 6 games for sports betting.
Right.
So that makes you feel like he was betting on football games, doing something inappropriate. While it wasn't appropriate, I think we do need to make sure that we note that he wasn't betting on football. And
he could have been betting on anything: table tennis, basketball, baseball,
anything,
water polo, but it wasn't NFL related. I guess that's what saved him, because Calvin Ridley did that last year and got a whole season. And it's just, if he had placed this bet at his mom's house or his house, at the gym, not the team gym, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because it's allowed. But because he was on a team Wi-Fi, I'm assuming, they pinged it, tracked him, figured it out. Now he's suspended for six weeks.
Another thing that I think we should note is C.J. Moore and Quatez Cephas suspended indefinitely and released by the team today.
Right. I'm not really worried about losing Cephas, but
C.J. Moore.
C.J. Moore is a big time special teamer for us. That's a loss. Does this change our draft strategy at all?
I know we talked about it briefly off air. I know you feel a little bit stronger than me, but I'm still drafting how I'm drafting. Best player available, impact players. Maybe I take a stronger look at some players in that 48, 55, 81 range. But to me, I had already took a look at Jalen Hyatt at 81 anyway. So I just think that, maybe Jalen Hyatt, A.T. Perry, those guys, maybe I take a stronger look at them at 81. But picks 1 through 4 aren't changing for me. You're not going to see a sexy receiver. You're probably not going to actually. We'll save it for the release.
Yeah, I'm glad we haven't done our official mock draft, and it's shit like this is why we don't do it.
Yeah,
because you never know. My opinion is a little different. I'm trying not to be in panic mode, but when I look at the expectations this team's had all season of winning the division, I mean, the first 6 games, we know what happened last year. The first 6 games, it wasn't good. We didn't have. I mean, J-Mo didn't play. We didn't have a good start to the season. We can't do that again. We're trying to make a statement that the North is ours. And I'm sorry, I just don't think you can go into the start of the season with Amon-Ra St. Brown as your number 1. Love Amon-Ra. I don't think he's a true number 1. I think he's the best number 2 in the NFL. And the corpse of Marvin Jones, my thoughts on him, not very high. And then Reynolds, I don't think that can be your receiving room day one.
Well, I think that we went out there and fielded teams with way less than that, when this thing started. You get a weapon in the draft, and I just don't think that it has to be at 6 or 18. Maybe at 48 you go get somebody. Maybe you give D-Hop a call and see what it takes to get him over here to do a little Band-Aid duty, because he's not going to be able to. He's not playing full NFL seasons anymore. So maybe you try to get somebody like that. But other than that, man, I'm not in panic mode. I think those guys can get it done. We got a great offensive line between Swift, and maybe you split out Swift a little bit more, and use him in that.
How are you going to split him out when he's in hoodies on Sundays?
That's another problem. But, players have a tendency to play through a little bit more and do a little bit more on those contract years. So whether he's trying to put his best foot forward for another team or he's trying to stay here, he's going to have to do everything in his power to stay on the field and do big things. So I think that worked.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm taking a hard look at pick 6. If Brad Holmes isn't very high on a defensive player, and if he thinks Jackson Smith-Njigba or Quentin Johnston.
Whoa. Next week.
Oh, I'm not. This isn't our mock draft. I'm just
okay.
saying. No, this isn't our mock draft. I'm just saying if Brad Holmes has, if he's not as high on a guy like Tyree Wilson, if he is a little higher on Jackson Smith-Njigba, if this tilts the scale for him a little bit, I'm not going to be surprised if he takes a shot on our wide receiver at 6 right now. I need to calm down a little bit before I really put out my thoughts on what needs to happen. But I can see a scenario like that where if he's got a player if Jackson Smith-Njigba and a player like Tyree Wilson, if he has them ranked dead even, like, is this suspension going to be the tipping point for him to take a player like Smith-Njigba?
Could be. I just think that there's a couple of guys that you could get to help the team. I'm at 18 too, so even if you're going that route, there'll still be guys there.
Yeah, this is a deep receiver class. I mean, I look at I got my personal board pulled up right here. I'm not going to show it, but my top 6 guys are all guys you could get in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then even after that, there's some solid guys you could get day 3. This just really depends what's Brad thinking. If he weighs it as an even between a receiver and a defensive lineman, I don't know. What's he going to do?
I know what he's going to do. I told you already.
You don't know what he's going to do. Nobody knows. Brad's cooking.
He is cooking.
But that's the big news for the day. It sucks. I'm actually I felt a little crack in my heart when I got the phone call. Yeah. And you said, "Did you hear about Jameson Williams?" And you had a panic in your voice a little bit.
Panic
in your voice, like, oh my God, did he go out and die in a car accident? Like, that's where my head went.
Yeah, he's dead for 6 games.
Yeah, it just sucks. Young kid, stupid mistake, but it's all about where he did it, not what he did. I think that's just the NFL being petty, in my opinion.
Guys, drop it in the chat how you feel about it and what you think the impact's going to be. Is this going to force us to draft a receiver? Is this going to force us to lose the first 6 games? Like, what do you guys think? Drop it in the chat. We'll talk about it in our next episode, draft episode.
Yeah, we're going to upload this on all of our platforms. Let us know what you think. Let's have a little dialogue. Let's talk. Lions fans, we got to figure something out. Let's come up with some scenarios. We got 6 days. It's almost draft time.
You guys know anybody that can catch a football and run? You might want to call Brad.
Yeah. Panic mode over here. You're as cool as a cucumber. Look at my cheeks, man. I'm red. I'm hot.
I see.
I am not a happy camper today. But that's it, guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think needs to happen. Give us some ideas how to fix this, where to go from here.
Get in our draft challenge.
Yep, and we'll talk to you later.